Breaking news from Afghanistan, another Canadian soldier has been killed.
Since Marc was 8 years old, he always dreamt to be a soldier.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Thank you for your attendance. We are privileged to have with us this morning a former student, Brendan Cullinan, who has produced a full-length motion picture dealing with themes of Remembrance Day. As we all know, Remembrance Day is next week, but I think you will see many of the themes of Remembrance Day in Brendan's motion picture, which deals to a large extent with Canada's mission in Afghanistan. Brendan graduated from this institution in 2006, and he is going to say a few words to you about his film at this time.
Good morning, everyone. So as Mr. Riker said, I had him as a history teacher, and he's a great guy, and it's a privilege to be here today, having graduated like about 5 years ago. So this film is called If I Should Fall. This is something that myself and my father, who was on the project as a producer and now as a director, this is something we started back in January. And without getting into too much detail, the film itself is a story about Trooper Marc Diab from Mississauga, Ontario, and it uses his story as a catalyst to tell the bigger story about what a lot of the Canadian soldiers are going through in Afghanistan, as well as the extended families and the friends and the military family as well. Something like this is something that I want to really resonate within the Canadian culture, be recognized, and really help educate people about what our soldiers are going through. Because I mean, a lot of you, such as myself, when I began this project, simply don't really understand what is going on in Afghanistan. It's not something that we really think about too much. So this film is meant to educate you and also provide you with a visceral experience of what the families have gone through for the soldiers who have been lost, who have died, and as well as the soldiers who have injured. Enjoy the film. This is something I worked really hard on. Thanks for your attendance, and it's a great pleasure to be here.
But first, some questions or reactions with respect to the film for Brendan.
Yeah, just wait for those house lights coming on, I guess. All right. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for sitting through that. Just a show of hands. How many people, had like a single tear? Yeah. So mostly females. Yeah, but I mean, few males too, which is, that's good. That's good. So I mean, it's like there's a lot in here that even as students, as young people, we can really attach to. I mean, for the females, you can see Mary, and you can imagine what it would be like if being in her situation, and and even for the males to understand that, like as a soldier, what it would be like to put yourself in a situation where your family back home is constantly in this turmoil where they fear the fact that they might lose you the next day or any sort of situation like that. So yeah, just if does somebody want to say something about the film, like if just a general comment or a question, or? I really like it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, like it's different, right? I mean, like it's real, like compared to like all the stuff that you see on TV these days. Like that's real, right? Like that's actually real. It's not Jersey Shore or something. So, yeah. If I mean, I don't need to keep you guys waiting. You've been sitting down long enough. But if some of you want to just come up and maybe talk to me afterwards, feel free to do so. If does anybody have any questions at the moment that they'd like to ask, or? No, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, guys, I guess in that sense, Mr. Ripers, do they need to start moving the chairs and stuff? So, having seen the film, like, what was your reaction to it? What do you think?
Pride is just to be able to know that there are people out there that would step up and just do that, even if it's not even for exactly Canada right now, it's just for even just to help everybody. And then there are people in Canada who would stand at the Highway of Heroes and just to show that they do stand behind those people, and you know, it's just important that people do that.
Yeah, it was emotional. The fact that it doesn't matter if you're for or against the like us being in Afghanistan, it's just the whole fact that we're connected as Canadians, and no matter where we are, it's just like supporting each other and as one big whole. It's extremely emotional, and you just feel connected to that family, and you feel what you're going through. And Marc impacted me. He's like, he made a difference, so why can't I? He changed me. Like, you can do good things. Like, you don't have to be in the military. You just, as a Canadian, everything, it's just important. And it's just like Bianca said, just being pride. Just like being proud of Canada, and it's amazing.
My name is Mr. Ripers, and Brendan is a former student of mine here at MTS. The film was very moving, and I especially appreciated the filmmaking. Obviously, there was a lot of thought and effort put into the editing, the selection of scenes, and the content of the film, which showed young people what it is like for a young person to go to Afghanistan and to sacrifice his life for his country. The connections to family, to society, to church were all very significant, and I know that looking at the audience which watched this film for an hour and 50 minutes, they were attentive, they were respectful, and they very much appreciated what they saw.
Okay, and could you maybe just say, as the film, like, why would something like this need to be successful? Like why should this be seen by more people as Canadians?
The film is a film that should be seen by many, many Canadians because it makes them appreciate why people sacrifice. Why do people go out of their way to help others? The story of Marc exemplifies a story of sacrifice, whether it's sacrifice in helping out at a summer camp, or it is sacrifice in helping out one's neighbors, or it is sacrifice by going to another country to fight for Canadian ideals. And young people need to be reminded of those lessons, and I think this film does an excellent job of underlining that need for sacrifice.
And the bell rings, but that's great though.